Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from worldwide. I'm Sterling, and it's great to have you back on the channel. The show is being recorded on Saturday, August 24th, 2024. It'll be posted live on Sunday, August 25th, 2024, about 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time zone. As always, these shows are offered for entertainment purposes only. All the information I share with you comes real time through my guides, angels, extended spiritual counsel, ETs, famous people from history, so for entertainment purposes only. And real quickly, for those who need to reach me, you can go to sterlingpsychicmedium.com, look for the Book a Session tab. I think there's availability in 2024 as well as early 2025. So the calendar is always up to date, online, and easy to look at. And also, if you just take a moment to subscribe to the channel or hit the like button, all those things really help the channel. It still looks like there's a large number of viewers of the channel that may be deriving value from the channel, but still not subscribing. Remember, it's all free to subscribe. So there you go. That's all the housekeeping at the front end of the show. We always gather questions from our community board. And right now, this week, I think we have almost 400 questions. My wife goes through them, extracts a group of questions. I think today we have 62 questions out of the roughly 400 questions, and we'll go through them real time for you here. So without any further delay, we'll jump into today's show. Number 62, you've seen in the past that 45 will remain as the GOP candidate through the entire election cycle through November. However, the GOP is recognizing some unfitness or decline, and more are saying that out loud. Will he be replaced by another candidate? No, according to my guides, I don't see that happening. Actually, it looks like he's still going to be the candidate going through the full election cycle. 61. Hello, Sterling and team. Did Judge Cannon successfully end the documents case against 45? No, I don't see it as being ended, and I do see an appeal coming by Jack Smith and his team, and I think we're going to see that play out over the next few weeks here. So it's a longer cycle that's going to play out here. But I see a successful appeal, and the case will not be dismissed overall. I think that it was all about it being improperly assigned by a special counsel. I think that's why Judge Cannon tried to dismiss it, but that'll be appealed and then it will move forward. 60. Hello, Sterling. Will former Representative Adam Kinzinger ever become president in the future? Will Kamala Harris place him in her cabinet? I don't see him becoming president, although down the road he could become vice president or something there for him pretty far down the road. But it does look like he'll have the offer of a cabinet position in the Harris administration, and it looks like he'll actually take it. So yeah, it looks like he'll be active in the administration coming up here with Kamala Harris. 59. Hello, Sterling. I've watched a few near-death experience videos that remarked on future events. They are seeing no government. In addition, they are seeing planets moving into never-before-seen placements in the universe. They see volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. And this is leading up to May of 2026, where they do not see many individuals or humanity still on the planet. What do your guides say about these events? My team has always said, there's lots of things happening. Yeah, planets will move around the universe, different orbits. That's true. Lots of ongoing earthquakes, releasing energy in the universe around the world. Lots of floods still. We're seeing, I think there was a big one in Bangladesh over the last few days here, Bangladesh. But I don't see a large departing of humanity. I think that's what's being inferred here, like some very large solar event or something happening where a large destruction occurs and massive amounts of humanity are lost. I don't see that. Actually, that's not really an event that's coming up, especially not in May of 2026. Thousands of years out, a lot of individuals will be off the planet, but for different reasons, not just passing away, but living on other planets. So anyway, I hope that helps in answering that question. 58. Hello, Sterling and team. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida recently announced that he'll be stepping down from his party, the Liberal Democratic Party, next month and end his term as prime minister after 3 years. There are two female cabinet members, ministers, that are running for the top post. They are Economic Secretary Minister Sanae Takashi, I think it is, and Foreign Minister Yoko Kamikawa. Is Japan ready for a female prime minister? I get absolutely yes, and it looks to me like, from what I can tell, that Yoko, how do you say her last name? Yoko Kamikawa, looks like she may in fact be the next prime minister. Is what I'm picking up here. So, 57. Will renowned lawyer Mark Elias and his firm be able to curtail the extreme efforts of Georgia Republicans that are posing to try and undermine the election results? Will Harris win Georgia when everything is said and done by a significant margin? I do see all this going to get resolved in conjunction with, is it Mark Elias? Mark Elias. And I do see that looks to be like Kamala's going to win Georgia by pretty good margin. So it won't be a lot of discrepancy there. Although what my team's saying, there are going to be a lot of court cases filed. That's true, but it looks like she will win. In the end, it'll be shown she wins. And it looks like Mark Elias will be very helpful in this process. I'm also getting Mark Elias may have fallen out of favor with some groups in the Democratic Party. He and his firm, but it looks like he'll still be very helpful to the Harris administration in this whole election. 56. Will Preet Bharara, I think it is, Bharara, sorry, be the next Attorney General for President Harris? Yes, I believe there's a very strong possibility that Preet will be the next Attorney General during the Harris administration. 55. Hello, Sterling and team. I watch your shows every Sunday. You have indicated in prior shows that the Anunnaki and the Nephilim were extraterrestrials that were here to assist humanity. Do they still exist? Yes, they exist in the galaxy, but they're not on the planet right now. So they're not on Earth right now. They will be again as you go through in future times here. They're still around the galaxy, but they're not coming down to Earth as much as they did in the past. For whatever reason, different extraterrestrial species have different reasons for interacting with Earth and the way they're helping. 54. Hello, Sterling. Do animals understand innately when humans or other animals are sick or ill? Yes, both through like telepathic communication and even through things like smelling pheromones, right? Or things that are given off by animals and even human beings. And actually, my team's reminded there have been scientific studies where some animals can actually determine exactly, let's say, where a cancer illness is in a person. They can isolate it to a specific area. So I think the question is, right, do animals understand innately humans or animals are sick? Yeah, they absolutely do understand, and they can perceive where the trouble is in the other animal or the human, and even isolate it specifically. 53. Hello, Sterling. How do we all appear to everyone on the other side in the afterlife? I know we're all one, but how do we appear to one another when we are in different races on Earth? I've seen this all the time. People actually appear very much the way they do here on Earth. Now, you can change your appearance on the other side. So, for example, male to female, or you can change the way you look race-wise or whatnot. But people do appear very much in like a human form. They actually appear that way. Take a look at a movie that was channeled years ago that Robin Williams was in, What Dreams May Come. I've referenced it a few times on this channel. But the front of the movie is a very good description of kind of the interactions, the way things can kind of work on the other side. Whenever I look at the other side, it looks very similar to what that movie portrays in the very beginning, but you can be anything you want to be. Now, what's interesting, my team's reminding me, you actually can show up with what they call a spiritual QR code. You still look like a human, but let's say if you were male in your last life and now you want to be female on the other side, people could still recognize you from like your spiritual DNA QR code. That's like knowing exactly who you are. Yeah, but that's a very good question. It comes up all the time. 52. Hello, Sterling. Can you please comment on whether coincidences are sometimes just coincidences? How do we know when a coincidence is more than just a coincidence? Are they sometimes messages from our angels and guides? Well, first off, there are no accidents in the universe. So coincidence is not really coincidence. It's actually a purposeful event meant to get your attention. Either you put on your life path or it is your guides and angels working through other people to get that message out to you. So no accidents. So coincidences, they're not accidents. They're purposeful events meant to call your attention to something. 51. Hello, Sterling. Can you please see what happened to 19-year-old Noah? Is a preserve, it looks like, who was found dead on the side of the road in Oklahoma in September of 2023. He was found a mile away from a house party he was attending. He had multiple blunt force injuries, but authorities do not have a manner of death. They don't believe it was murder, and they don't believe it was a hit and run. It seems he had blunt force injuries that were difficult to determine the cause. What happened, and will authorities solve the case? Okay, so it looks like Noah Preserve, 19 years old, Oklahoma. Well, it's unfortunate. I like seeing these things, but it looks like completely this is a murder and done by a group of individuals, not just one. Now, it looks like there's evidence being held back. So there's a little bit of a cover-up going on here. And I'm also seeing, unfortunately, some sort of an animal interaction after the death. So like a group of individuals perpetrated the crime and the murder, and then he was dumped or placed in a certain area, side of the road, and then some additional animal interaction. So I'm not sure, are bears in that area of Oklahoma or something, but a very unfortunate situation here. The police are already onto this. They know, and I do believe over the next few months here, the truth is going to come out. So it's a lot of prayers and love and light out to the family of Noah Preserve here. This will be solved, but I keep getting there's a group of individuals involved in this murder. Very, very unfortunate situation here. 50. It has been said that angels don't really have wings. If so, can you provide a more detailed description of what they look like? It'll surprise you, but a lot of times they look very much like you and I. There are earth angels running around here, and angels on the other side can take a very much a humanoid form. They can look very similar to humanity. That's true. They don't have wings, but they have tremendous energy that surrounds them. So you pick them up, it's almost like a wind blowing you back or whatnot. It's a lot of energy around them. And you do feel a tremendous amount of love. So that it's easy to kind of understand who they are when you're on the other side, but they look very similar. They may times take a human type form. 49. Hello, Sterling and team. Will Ruben Gallego beat Kerry Lake in the upcoming election? Yes, I believe he will win. It's going to be a very close election, but it looks like Ruben Gallego will be the winner. 48. Will President Kamala Harris legalize marijuana? Yes, but I'm getting like not till late into her first term. I'm not sure what this is all about, but maybe like 2026, 2027. Looks like it'll eventually get legalized on a federal level. But they're saying it's kind of more later into her term. 47. Hi, Sterling. This week, a yacht carrying Mike Lynch capsized off the coast of Sicily. He is missing. A day before that, his colleague, Stephen Chamberlain, was killed in a car accident while running in the UK. Both were defendants in a decade-long trial with Hewlett-Packard and were acquitted in June. Is this a coincidence, something conspiratorial, or karma, or something else? I'm getting they're both events that weren't part of foul play. So the car accident was let me see here. Stephen Chamberlain killed in a car accident while running. That looks like it, there are no accidents, right? You have an exit point, but there's not foul play. And then the Mike Lynch boat or yacht, that appears to be very much two different things I'm picking up here. Very much weather related, but also a big human error component. So it's like maybe whoever was piloting the yacht didn't take the right precautions or understand the weather dangers or something going on. But not foul play, not karma. Remember, you never get off your life path. It's an exit point. But I think that's generally what this person's asking. They both look like natural on-course events with these people and not related to anything that's foul play related to the HP case. 46, hello, Sterling and team. The FBI has identified the creator of the notorious Lockbit ransomware, Russian citizen Dmitry Yurovik Koroshev. It looks like Koroshev. Will he ever be extradited for his crimes? Now, it appears that he'll be extradited, but almost like three different countries. So, like UK, US, even Australia. It looks like this might have affected a lot of large scale businesses like hospitals, but looks like he will be extradited. But I'm getting like three different countries are going to pass him around, and there's going to be trials involving all this. 45. Hello, Sterling. I love watching your show on Sundays. You've stated that the Anunnaki and the Nephilim. I think we just answered this question, so I apologize. Looks like this is a duplicate question here regarding the Anunnaki. 44. Greetings, Sterling and team. Will scientists find a cure for Charles Bonnet syndrome? The syndrome occurs with people experiencing a severe vision loss, 60% or greater. They experience hallucinations, seeing people, animals, bugs at random times, places. Anyone at the age can develop CB, but senior citizens are most affected, and there are currently no known cures. And this is called the Charles Bonnet syndrome. Okay. I'm getting out. This is really going to be affected in a good way by gene editing technology, but I'm being told now, right now, that it's good. The cure is a good 10 to 20 years away, so 1 to 2 decades away before they really figure out how to attack this, how to stop it, how to slow it down, then how to cure it. So a long road ahead, almost a 2 decade road ahead, but they're going to make significant progress here on this. 43, hi Sterling and team. There were several videos of UAP sightings, mostly along the West Coast, Hawaii, and several other places around the world over the past weekend. I remember you mentioning a year or two ago that such an event would occur that would be undeniable proof of ET existence off the West Coast. Was this the event that you were referring to, or will there be a greater event happening later? If so, when should we expect it? So yes, this is part and parcel to the event that my team predicted. In fact, this is in our prediction show, January of 2023. And at that time, I remember my team was saying that by summer mid-year 2023, there would be major sightings of UAPs off like the west coast of the US, to name a few other locations in the world. And what I didn't know at that time, what's interesting, is that there were congressional hearings coming up that summer of 2023 that I discovered later from my team that they were trying to coordinate those sightings with the congressional hearings, which in January of 2023 we had no knowledge of. Looks like because the congressional hearings didn't go well, they weren't successful, all that was held back and pushed off to this year. This year, third quarter, we're in the end of summer here, these are the events that they were talking about. So yeah, it's all coming into play right now. This is all part of the introduction to humanity, that they're here, and full disclosure is coming very soon. 42, I've heard psychics talk to people that have passed on, and they do not mention eating or drinking. After we pass on, can we eat and drink, and do we actually taste things, or is this a human-only sense? Actually, you can experience everything you want to experience on the other side. It's very interesting. You don't have the calories and the weight gain and all that, but you can experience anything you want on the other side. All the sensual experiences can still be discovered and enjoyed on the other side, including eating and drinking. 42, Sterling, I understand we have hundreds of reincarnations, each reincarnation to experience various avenues of life. I'm intrigued to know if at each reincarnation we have a different personality for that particular life. For example, in one life we might be shy and timid, and another we could be full of confidence and quite bombastic, totally different to what we were previously. What's your team thoughts on this? The personality selection process is all part of the blueprint you lay out. It's all part of the punch list. So, depending on the lessons you want to learn and the individuals you're coming down here with, your personality always plays a role in that. So, you actually select that, and you can build off of it lifetime to lifetime. So, it's all part of that free will component before you come back down here. 41, Sterling and Team. Xi Jinping has been rarely seen in recent weeks. His name is mentioned less frequently in Chinese media, his image on billboards removed, and his books removed also. A few weeks ago, Russia rumored Xi Jinping had a mild stroke. Sterling, what is your insight on Xi Jinping, health, and the Chinese government? Um, I see his health is fine. I mean, aside from, ups and downs that we all have as human beings, but I don't see a major medical problem going on with him right now. And I do see him still fully engaged, like in strategy sessions behind the scenes with a lot of dictators around the world, including Putin. So I'm not picking up that there is yeah, actually my team's also saying is actually still coordinating with like North Korea. So there's some things going on here. 40, Sterling, if extraterrestrials reveal themselves, and since their civilizations are perhaps millions of years older, will they be able to give us more insight into the origins of the universe and a better understanding of one source, one force? Yes, this is all part of the overall plan. This question's come up on other shows, but happy to kind of reiterate that you'll be able to see a lot of what happened over the history of the universe, the world, and Earth. It'll all be shown in terms of like holographic imagery that you'll be able to see in free space. Actually, it's almost like having an incredible entertainment setup. So as the information is shared with you, you can almost experience it like immersive entertainment. 39. Hello, Sterling and team. My question is, how are extraterrestrials able to survive the different worlds environments they travel through? For example, as humans, we would die without oxygen and our bodies can only tolerate certain temperatures. Do their bodies require different elements to survive? They have their ability to adjust their metabolism and their breathing rates and can almost go into a hibernated state if they need to. There's also technology that allows them to go into a hibernated state for really very long periods of time. So this technology has been around for millions of years, but they have ways of adapting to different environments and long space travel. But ability to be able to hibernate their body and slow down the metabolism so they don't have the same requirements. By the way, I'm just being told that humans will have this technology, this ability within about 100 years. So we'll actually have the same technology that humanity can use. 38, will the U.S. have a majority of Democratic senators and representatives in the House and Senate after the November election is over? Yes, I get that absolutely, that there'll be a majority in both the House and the Senate. It'll allow a lot of legislation to be put through without a lot of fighting. 37, hi Sterling and team. Can your guides give their explanation as to what the cosmic or universal Christ consciousness is? Edgar Casey talks a lot about this consciousness being within us all. And it was that consciousness through which many masters were able to work miracles and do extraordinary things throughout history. This is really just purely the direct connection with the highest levels of love and intelligence, which is how we're all connected to the one source, the one force. So it's almost getting into the flow of that supreme intelligence, that supreme love, is being referred to as like the Christ consciousness, but it's really the alignment with the one source, the one force. And this is actually very easy for us to do on the other side in heaven. Takes a little more work here for people on earth. You have to kind of align your thinking and your energy with that source. If you're too much in your logical mind, it's very hard to do. But that's what my team always says. It's really alignment with that pure intelligence, universal intelligence, and universal love. 36, Sterling and team. Will the new virus, Mpox or monkeypox, spread throughout the world and into America the way COVID did? If so, when will this happen? No, I don't see this as being a worldwide pandemic, and I see very good vaccine technology coming up here very soon. It looks like it's already being worked on. It looks like many areas of the world will be saved from any kind of a massive pandemic. That includes North America, Australia, many parts of Europe. Unfortunately, there are going to be some other areas of the world, parts of the Middle East, parts of Africa, that are going to be under duress because they won't have access to all the medications. But even that, it looks like it will not devolve into a worldwide pandemic. Um, yeah, it's a rough situation for certain parts of the world, but I don't see that becoming a worldwide pandemic the way we saw C-19. 35. What do the ETs think of 45? Well, I've asked this question a number of times. Um, they find them to be dangerous and not very mature, not able to take in or comprehend a lot of information that they would want to supply to them in order to help. So they're very evolved in a way that they understand even before anybody even talks or speaks. Telepathically, they can tell whether somebody's receptive information or will be helpful. So yeah, I mean, they sum total, they find them dangerous, immature, and not very helpful. Consequently, have not revealed anything to him. 34. Will Democratic Senate candidate Debbie Mucarsel Powell win the Florida Senate seat against current Republican Senator Rick Scott? Yes, I'm getting, it looks like she'll win. Debbie Mucarsel Powell looks like she will win. 33. Hello, Sterling and his wife, Linda. I've recently become a viewer of your show and find it very intriguing. I'm curious about what your spiritual guides might reveal regarding the Marian apparition in Fatima, Portugal in 1917. My question is twofold. One, were the apparitions in both Fatima and Lourdes, France, genuine? Specifically, I'm interested in the vision of hell described by Lucia on July 13, 1917, where they purportedly saw a vast sea of fire inhabited by demons and the souls of the damned. There's a belief that hell is a construct of man, the church, to maintain control. Is there truly a form of hell? Blessings, Rick. Um, no, there is no hell. And what I get was this was an extraterrestrial interaction with these people in Fatima. I think I read on this before, but the images that were shown were not that. It was almost like what could happen to humanity. It was almost like a warning message. So these are extraterrestrial interactions around Fatima. And this was also, was that 1917 they're saying here. And then also they're saying Fatima, Portugal. Yeah. Yeah, but no hell. There's no hell. There is no devil. There are a lot of low-level energetic entities on the other side. They don't choose to follow the ways of love or the one source, the one force. But it was really more about a warning message for humanity to kind of get their act together. That's what that was all about. 32, Sterling. I've always wondered if there are any people who are extraterrestrials working in government, the Pentagon, or the entertainment industry. Yes, there are. And they're not very well advertised, but they're here helping. They're very concerned about the future of humanity. They're helping in many areas of the world and government. And in fact, they are helping even with the entertainment industry, getting certain messages out there that take the form of books or film or TV. They are. And there's a lot of them working underground in military installations in Antarctica and also Area 51. 31, dear Sterling and team, the Arizona Republicans are asking the Supreme Court to pull 40,000 people from the voting registration rolls. Will they succeed? No, not in the end. But it appears this is all related to like proof of citizenship. So they're going to find some sort of a vehicle to get proof of citizenship validated. It looks to me like this is all about, proving citizenship, but it does not look like it'll be successful in pulling, 40,000 people off the voter rolls. 30, will the extraterrestrials actually get to speak with and help Kamala Harris and Tim Walz when they are president, vice president? Yes, but this is not going to be done in public at all. So this will be kept very private and quiet for many, many years. 29. Hi, Sterling. I understand that life here is a yin yang, love versus fear condition. But if the other side, heaven, is not a duality, but a place where love only exists, why are there low vibration entities that try to influence us to be negative, like trickster spirits. If love is all there is, once we cross over, why are there fear-based entities? So, not so much fear-based. There are thousands of levels in heaven, right? So that's one reason a lot of people like to reincarnate all the time, is as you learn lessons, you go back, you go up, you elevate in levels in heaven. There are thousands of levels. So those on the lowest rung levels in heaven, they're low energetically. Trickster spirits, prankster spirits are on that level. There's even like fallen angels. They call fallen angels people that decide not to follow the ways of like the one source, the one force. So it's not fear-based. It has to do with energetic level, the thousands of levels on the other side. 28, warm regards to Sterling and team. Assuming that 45 will continue to be the Republican candidate through the November 5th election day, and that he will be defeated fairly by Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, as previously predicted by your guides, what will happen in the future to assist so many who have been duped by 45, duped, and the extreme right-leaning media? Well, they're going to continue to go on in a delusional state, right? So it's almost like, denying the truth of anything going on. But you're still going to have a lot of that in society. It's always been here in society. It's more public now, but they'll continue to go on in a delusional state. 27, hi Sterling. Now that National Public Data Corp, or NPD, in Florida was hacked by bad actors of Americans' Social Security numbers, will the government make any changes by updating the systems or having us do fingerprint or eye scan? Unfortunately for the time being, not going to be any big changes on behalf of the government, but I do see within a couple of very short years here, there's going to be extensive blockchain distributed ledger technology systems put in place to safeguard people's personal data. Blockchain distributed ledger technology provides a backbone for cryptocurrency, but don't get distracted by that. The technology blockchain is quite good. You can use it for all sorts of applications. I am reminded that if you have problem with a data breach, a lot of time people find it helpful to go to a government website called identitytheft.gov. And there you can find lots of resources, information on how to track, how to correct data breach problems or personal data problems. So again, the website a lot of people refer to, the government website, is identitytheft.gov. So I hope that helps. You can actually freeze your credit as well. It's always a good idea. 26, this past Sunday, you explained the 7 and 10-year cycles up to age 70. As I am in my early 70s and still evolving, are there cycles between now and death? Many of us are living through our 90s into the 100 years, so it'd be nice to know. And, life cycles never stop. So whether you're on 7-year cycles or 10-year cycles, the point we're making in last week's show was that just the way mathematically things work out, at the age of 70, if you're on a 7-year cycle, you have actually completed 10 cycles to get to the age of 70. And if you're on 10-year cycles, you completed 7 cycles by the time you got to the age of 70. But it never stops. So you continue to go on there. If you're on a 7-year cycle and you hit 70, your next cycle is 70 to 77, right? So it keeps moving forward and it doesn't stop. 25, hello, Sterling and team. With the recent expose on 60 Minutes about the U.S. government secretly storing 200 million gallons of jet fuel on the island of, is it Oahu, or I think, for decades. Recently, the jet fuel leaked into the water supply. While there are lawsuits pending for those affected by the jet fuel leaks, will the government act more responsibly under the next administration to protect the American people from government secrets such as storing jet fuel on the island that is inhabited by more than 1 million people? Well, this is going to continue to be a problem with the government keeping secrets for a variety of reasons. And unfortunately, there's going to be health implications. But it does look to me there's going to be like new policies over the next decade or two here that are going to really limit like this sort of abusive behavior, let's say, a secretive behavior that puts people's lives in danger. A lot of these problems start like 50 to 100 years ago, at least, right? So this is going to start to change over the next time period here, but I'm just being told it's going to gradually take time. They put the new laws in place to safeguard, but change some of the policies and the way that some of these secrets are being kept. the ones particularly that endanger the health of humanity. So we've got a little bit of a process to go here. Remember, we're in an entire 3-decade reset right now on Earth from the year 2020 to 2050. A lot of these challenges for humanity will start being taken care of within that time period. 24, hello, Sterling and team. Is former President 45 a new soul or an old soul? How many reincarnations has he had on Earth? This is about 40 reincarnations for him. And so that's not considered to be an old soul. No. So a lot of lessons to learn. 23, Sterling and Guides. I'm a physician. It's really difficult to practice medicine now with so many other interests interfering and limiting care, insurance, government, etc. What do you see as the future of medicine in the US? I see we're going to see major changes in the entire medical industry over the next 48 years here, the next first and second term for Kamala Harris. So big changes regarding funding coming into the medical industry, new insurance laws, governing how things are covered, new federal laws that will protect physicians, guarantee reproductive rights. Lots of big changes here going on. So it's really what I do see is a complete paradigm shift in the entire medical industry over the next 48 years here. So I would say stand by. You're going to see big changes coming up here. I see it, and I feel it, and I can see them. 22, will Kamala Harris's administration finally pass immigration reform for those that have been waiting for years? Yes, within the first 4-year term. So it may go in stages. So I think there's something going to get passed here in May the first year, 2025, and then some other legislation in 2026. So there's some stages here in immigration reform. Looks like it won't all happen in one pass, but there's various elements to it. So good progress in that area. 21, how far will the GOP get with this new round of impeach Biden hearings? I guess it's going to be stalled in Congress and like never pass the Senate. So this is more like throwing mud at the wall, is what I'm being told. 20, I was told everyone has written 3 exit points into their life path contract. Exit point meaning 3 chances to pass on and leave this earthly life. Is this true? Well, no, not necessarily. We only have one real exit point. So if it's not your exit point, you won't leave the planet. However, I'll give you one additional element of information around this. I've always seen that around your actual exit point, sometimes there's a plus or minus 2-year window. So if you have, let's say, major medical problems, sometimes people want to go 2 years earlier. Sometimes if you're worried about your family and the family going to chaos if you leave, you'll hang out for 2 more years. But I have seen that plus or minus 2-year window around a lot of exit points for people. But if it's not your exit point, you're not going to leave the planet. So no, there aren't really 3 exit points. You have one defined real exit point that's on your life path. 19, people are posting pictures of black rings in the sky over many cities. What are these rings? I get these are hydrocarbon deposits from wildfires, pyrotechnics, fireworks, but it's like hydrocarbon deposits, and maybe a lot of them are due to various fires around the world, is what they're telling me. 18, I've been noticing people are having less children. Will this be a concern for the United States? Is this a good or bad thing? It's all part of a natural progression on the planet right now for the next number of years, but it looks like it's going to turn around in 8 years, but it was something like that. So, part of a cycle that the Earth is, and the U.S. is going through, has a lot to do with the way humanity is growing, elevating, experiencing things here. But I'm just being told like around 8 years or something out, it looks like it's really going to start to turn around again. I guess where people are feeling much better about having larger families, it's all coming back again. 17, hello, Sterling. Do all hybrids know that they are hybrids? Yes, but I mean it's a smaller percentage of hybrids that really understand they're hybrid because it somehow dovetails into what they're here to do. When you're a hybrid here, you're actually doing some things that are somewhat monumental, right? So you're helping with world peace, new technology, new science, new health innovation. So you kind of understand what your purpose is down here. You actually key into it, like connecting with your angels and guides, connecting with your soul DNA. If as you're a hybrid, you actually have additional skills you're supposed to bring to bear. So there is a percentage, there's a smaller percentage of individuals that are hybrids that actually know they're hybrids. 16, how will Vice President Kamala Harris and 45 each do at their debate? I guess it's September 10th is the next one. They're the one they're going to do. Looks like Kamala Harris will do quite well. Looks like she'll be able to lay a lot of facts on the table. And I'm gonna give 45 like the runaround, almost like lead them around on a leash kind of a thing. Kind of won't know where he's coming or going. He'll be throwing a lot of things at the wall. So it looks like 45 will be ill-informed, and it looks like Kamala will do quite well laying out a kind of a factual representation of what she wants to get across to the nation. 15, hi Sterling. It seems that as of now, the treatments for Parkinson's disease focus on controlling symptoms. Can you see anything that will actually slow the progression of the disease? If so, any chance it will be sooner rather than later? I see new AI, artificial intelligence, brain scanning technology is going to be very helpful for making a diagnosis and doing an early diagnosis, so getting on top of things faster. And then there's some cures, some neurological cures they'll be genetically based within 10 to 12 years. So good diagnostic tools using AI right away, and then cures in roughly about 10 to 12 years here. 14, psychopathy. Is it psychopathy? The inability to feel guilt or empathy has both a genetic component and is also affected by the environment in which the person is raised. Will there be a time when a child's genetic disposition will be identified at birth? Will there be a cure for this genetic component? Okay. It's almost along the lines of the previous answer to this previous question, but it looks like a lot of good artificial intelligence diagnostic driven tools to understand what's going on neurologically in the brain, measured against trillions of data points and facts. And then, so that diagnostic will help in the treatment going forward. Then a cure for this, an actual cure for this particular ailment is more like 1 to 2 decades out. 13, will there be a more equitable way that public schools get funding so that underfunded schools can get more resources? I do believe that all this is going to be tied into that corporate minimum tax rate of 15%, right? 15%. And that's the minimum tax rate. A lot of the largest corporations aren't paying any taxes, but it looks like the revenue coming from this will absolutely be going to schools and create better distribution programs for where the revenues need to go, where the funding needs to go. And this is all going to happen the first couple of years here of the next term, Kamala Harris's first term. 12, hello, Sterling and team. Do animals communicate with each other telepathically? And if so, is it just within their species or across their species? All animals communicate telepathically, and that's the reason why actually a lot of people, if you develop your psychic mediumship ability, and we all have a number of the clairs available to us, right? There are 7 major clairs, like clairaudience and clairvoyance, but telepathically, animals all communicate with each other, and they also can communicate with humans. That's why you see a lot of animal communicators out there as well. But all animals, it goes across species. That's one of the skills they have when they come down here. 11, Sterling, since residents of Scotland vote against Brexit, but have a fraction of votes compared to England, will Scotland ever be independent of England? No, I've read on this before. I see Scotland for a variety of safety and security reasons. Believe it or not, it's still always going to be connected or a part of like the UK. Don't see them separating. I know there's been a lot of discussions about that. I don't remember all the exact history of when, Scotland then became part of the UK. But it looks like I know they've been trying to get independent, but for security reasons, it looks like they're going to stay part of the UK for a long time. Almost my team was saying like many centuries. 10, Sterling and team. About a year ago, I woke up at night to see the back of a humanoid looking bee walking from my bed into a tall piece of furniture. It was about 5.5 feet tall, smaller build, solid black with no visible features like ears or hair, and no clothes or form-fitting clothing. I was concerned, but not terrified, and prayed. Was it an ET, angelic being, or a person who had crossed over? Um, this was an apparition of a person that lived in that area with you. Now, maybe not with you directly, but this person lived in that environment, that house, that land, not related directly to your family, not an extraterrestrial. They're telling me that it was just this is a person, an apparition of a person moving through the area. 9, Sterling and Guides. What does it mean when you say we are in a 3-decade reset? Reset from what to what? So this is where the most significant changes are going to occur right here on Earth. And if you go back like a million years, this is a very significant 3-decade reset. This is where the veil becomes very thin. Many people walk around the planet will have pure psychic and mediumship ability. Um, Traveling faster than the speed of light will start to become a humanity. We'll see free energy, the ability to produce energy that it does not cause any environmental factors and is free to everybody. Not just free from a physics standpoint, but very low cost. It's a big reset for everything we know. A lot of the diseases that humanity has will be cured, not just from CRISPR gene editing, but then we're going to go the next phase beyond gene editing, which will be a different type of molecular science. So it gets into quantum physics about how then we heal the body. So lots of major advancements, and this 3-decade reset will set the tone for thousands of years going forward. We'll also be traveling to Mars. And other planets in the galaxy. Extraterrestrials will be out among us. There's a big reset period. So good question. My team refers to this 3-decade reset. Now, everybody that's here right now agreed to be here right now during this time period to help. And if you're watching this show, you are probably one of them. 8, does selective compassion transform into complete compassion when someone transitions? If someone was emotionally unavailable during their lifetime, do they gain compassion and the ability to love in spirit world? It seems like we have no concept of the love we experience in spirit. Well, you're actually standing in pure love on the other side. So you have pure empathy and love. There's no fear on the other side. So I guess we're asking here, selective compassion. When you actually transition over into heaven dimension, you walk into pure love, pure empathy, and you have compassion. I think you're asking when you step over. I want to make sure I got this question correct from the person. Yeah, when you transition, yeah. So it's you experience everything that you didn't experience, as part of your life plan here for that particular person, if you came down with that particular human ailment. Okay. 7, will we ever see the unredacted Mueller report? Yes, in late 2025, it's coming. 6, I lived in an agricultural town in Colorado. When a year ago, letting the dog out at 1 a.m., I saw a figure walk across my lawn that looked like the fawn in Labyrinth. It was walking in a very disjointed manner. It did not acknowledge me and disappeared shortly thereafter. I felt like a peaceful time traveler, but was terrified by its appearance. What was that? Would I have been in danger if I saw it? This is a form of extraterrestrial, one of the forms of extraterrestrials moving through that area. No harm. No harm to you at all, but they're moving through that area. They didn't always like to be seen, but for some reason there was something going on in that area where they were moving through the area, but no threat to you. A benevolent extraterrestrial. 5, can spirits of loved ones really communicate through spirit boxes, or is it all hoax? The deceased have no voices, so how can this be real? Well, in some cases, you see, on the other side, you can energetically. Remember, everything energetically can be transposed into some component physically. So a sound. Yes, you can create energetically from the other side. You can create words that will come through a spirit box. You can affect energy at different spectrums, different sound frequencies across the spectrum. So it's true. Now, not everything you hear is a loved one on the other side. So you have to be a little bit discerning. It requires maybe a little bit of scientific investigation. Having a psychic medium there is always helpful. So if they know that a daughter passed away and the daughter's trying to get a word across, like the word doll. You have to there's a couple of factors here you have to bring into this. So it's not true across the entire realm of experience with spirit boxes, but in many cases, loved ones and his other side can interact energetically to produce words through spirit boxes. A lot of spirit boxes are just scanning a frequency spectrum, an audible spectrum, and yes, energetically you can interact with that spectrum. For Sterling and team, I was watching the History Channel on the Unexplained. NASA has recorded images of what they call the Black Knight satellite orbiting the Earth. They say it is not space junk and don't know what it came from. Do you have any information on the Black Knight satellite, where it came from? They alluded that maybe it came from ETs. I get this is actually space junk. So it may be something that looks like a Black Knight satellite. It's not. There are a lot of Palladian motherships moving around space, and many times they can in a way of viewing that, might mistake that for something else. Now, the Palladian motherships are very large and triangular, but I'm getting whatever is being referred to as the Black Knight satellite is actually space junk. And it's a little bit of folklore around all this. I know whoever in this question was saying that NASA say that it's not space junk, but my team's saying it's actually a large piece of space junk. 3, Sterling and team, you have said that we all have guides and angels. Do things like rocks, trees, flowers also have them? Do ET species have them? Yes, ETs, as well as all living entities, have some form of guidance from the other side. Humanity, they definitely have birth angels that keep you on the planet, working spiritual guides that help you in various tasks in life around health or traumas or business or finance or leadership, health, healing. Yeah. So, and every entity has some sort on Earth here, has some sort of a spiritual component that's helping to guide them here on Earth, even extraterrestrials. And number 2 and number 1, I always take notes before we start the show here. So I'll read those back to you. 2, do you see anything coming up this week? Massive new support coming here for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, including many prominent people across business and society and the entertainment industry. Massive new funding coming. Also, more delays coming for some of the 45 trials. So something coming out here in the media, more delays, more mud being thrown out the wall. I do see that. Major new ceasefire progress in the Mideast. So I still see Qatar as playing a very important role somehow behind the scenes, and not in a bad way, but almost moving money. Sometimes it takes moving money around to try to get people to come to the ceasefire table. But I do see, not in a bad way, but Qatar playing a very strong role, and a major ceasefire agreement coming here very, 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 very shortly. Releasing of information for the Jeffrey Epstein documents. You're going to see some things leak out coming up this week in the media. And also, we're already seeing this, but we're seeing that the Kennedy support for the 45 campaign is now going to kind of ramp up. But I don't see that. My team is saying it's not going to be a big factor in swaying the election from 45 to Kamala Harris. So lots going on here. Also, they're talking about more, my team's talking about more Lebanon strikes into Israel, and still something coming up here with Iran. So there could be more drones coming in Israel, but a very large contingent of countries, including the U.S., are going to foil a lot of those threats. So a very active week coming up here, that's for sure. And number 1, do you have anything your guides want to share? Trust everything you intuitively feel, hear, and see. These are your guides trying to help you in real time, so stop arguing with yourself and with them. So on that note, that concludes the show being recorded today on Saturday, the 24th of August, 2024, hosted on Sunday, the 25th of August, 2024. As always, you need to reach me, go to sterlingpsychicmedium.com, look for the Book a Session tab. Again, I think there's still some dates available in 2024 as well as early 2025. If you'd like to join our Platinum membership, there's a join button on the front page of our YouTube site as well as our website. The Platinum membership, we do live personal readings and mediumships on Friday mornings. We have a lovely group of Platinum members we get together with every Friday morning, and we look forward to that. I'm also doing a show with Linda G, the Comanche Psychic, on Sunday, August 25th. You can find that on Linda Grindle's channel, the Comanche Psychic. So, on that note, I'm going to send out a lot of goodwill and tremendous love to you and your families. Take care, and I will see you all again very soon.